Hi, everybody. Welcome to Von Cupcake Yoga. I'm your host, Gretchen, and we're going to do a nice lower back release stretch today. So, if you have some pain in your sciatica muscles, if you've got some lower back pain, this one is for you. Today, we're going to use some blocks. So, if you don't have blocks, they're really readily available online or at many big box stores. But if you don't have any and you don't want to buy anything roughly the shape of this will work. Nice big books work quite well. So, we're going to use some blocks. If you don't have any blocks, you don't have to have them, but it will help your practice today. So I encourage you to have them. And then we're going to start actually seated on our block. One block or two blocks, whatever you need. I'm going to sit on one block. And you might feel it feels a little different than sitting on the ground. That might feel better. That might not feel better. Wiggle around and see how you feel. But I like to sit on a block. It helps to elevate my hips a little bit so that when I'm seated on the floor, it doesn't feel so much strain on my lower back and my hips. So we're going to sit here on our block, shoulders back and down, reaching up through the crown of our spine, taking some breaths here. Maybe you close your eyes. Maybe you close your eyes down. Start to breathe. Take in any noises that are around you. Notice that they're there and let them float away on a cloud. Take in any thoughts that might be in your head. Acknowledge them and put them on one of those clouds and let it float away. Do a scan of your body, starting at your head. Direct your attention down to your shoulders. Direct your attention down your back. Taking note of any places that might feel a little tension. And those places are the ones that we're going to breathe into today. Drawing your attention further down around your hips, around the base of your spine, into your legs and your glutes, and all the way down to your toes. Just noticing, making no judgments, just observing. And draw your attention to your breath. Notice your breath as it comes in through your nose. Notice how your chest rises. Notice how your belly expands. Exhale completely. Allow your chest to gently deflate. With every inhale, bring in new, fresh energy. And with every exhale, let go of what came before. Let go of that anxiety. Let go of that stress. On your next exhale, draw your chin to your chest. Let that head feel nice and heavy. Big breath in and roll your right ear to your right shoulder. Exhale. It may feel really good here to take this left hand and bring it down to your mat. Maybe walk those fingers out. Maybe walk those fingers back. And point your chin in a couple different directions until you find that really perfect custom neck stretch just for yourself. And then breathe into it, inhaling completely and fully, and exhaling completely. Take a couple breaths here. Breathing into that wonderful neck of yours. It has a very important job. It holds up all your brains. And on your next exhale, you can release that hand, roll that chin to your chest. Exhale completely. On your next exhale, roll that left ear to the left shoulder. Let gravity claim you. Maybe we walk those right fingers, we bring them down to the mat, walk them out and back, pointing that chin in a couple different directions till you find that perfect custom neck stretch just for you. Breathe into it. Exhale, release. Bring that left hand, that right hand back to your knee. Roll that chin to your chest. And gently, slowly draw your head back up to center. Hello, my friends. And let's extend that left leg forward. And if we are on the block, we can stay on the block. And then bend into that right knee and tuck it in towards your groin. My foot is kind of flat against my inner thigh. My heel is on the ground and my toes are pointing up. Extend both your arms, big breath in. And then pivot towards that extended leg. Hinge forward at the hips, reaching until you find your edge. You feel a nice stretch down your calf. And then you can bring your hands down to your knees, your shins, your ankles, your feet. Take a breath here and make your back feel nice and flat. And then on your exhale, maybe we bring our chin to our chest. Deep in this stretch. One more full breath. Start to walk your hands back. Excellent. We're just going to switch legs here. So we're going to extend that right leg out. Bring that left one in. We're going to let that heel come down to the mat or the floor. And it's okay if it needs to slightly splay out to the side. It's not written in stone that it has to stick straight up. If it feels better for it to splay to the side, then by all means. Because everything I say here is just a suggestion and not a command. And you can make any types of modifications to serve your own body. So let's take a big breath here. Extend both our arms up. Pivot towards that extended leg, hinge forward, reaching until you feel that nice stretch down the back of your leg, and then bring those hands wherever they may be, your shins, your ankles, your feet, and bring that chin to your chest. Take a few breaths here. Allow gravity to claim you. Let that chest feel nice and heavy. Start to walk your hands back. Draw that foot in and have it meet its partner here. Soles of your feet facing each other. Put your hands on each side of your belly and just give it a gentle press inwards to bring your belly in between your legs. And that way you have a little more mobility in your hips. Sit up nice and tall. Big breath in. Extend both those arms nice and tall. Exhale, hinge forward to the hips, reaching here. Bring your hands to your feet, your ankles, your knees. Even the floor in front of your feet is fine too. Take a few breaths here. Bring that chin to your chest. Start to walk your hands back. And then draw your feet into your favorite easy seat again. For me, that's the crisscross applesauce. It's just fun to say. Sit up nice and tall here. Big breath in. Extend both those arms up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, bring that right hand down to the mat. That left hand can come up and over. Finding a side body stretch here. You can always walk that right hand out a little bit if you need more. Maybe we look up. Maybe we look down. Wherever your neck is feeling good, that's where you need to be. Big breath in. Draw your body back up to center. Inhale both those arms up. We're going to go to the other side. Left hand down, right hand up and over. Find a side body stretch here. Inhale completely and exhale completely. Draw your body back up to center. Inhale both those arms up. And then turn the palms out. Breathe as you lower those arms down. Sit up nice and tall here. Bring this right hand to your left knee. Bring this left hand back behind you. Bring those fingertips to the floor. Sit up nice and tall here. Take a big inhale and then start to twist, leading with your belly, then your chest, then your neck, and then your head. With every inhale, make yourself feel a little bit taller. And with every exhale, maybe we deepen that stretch, and that could just be figuratively in our mind. We do not have to move if our body does not want it today. Inhale and exhale completely. Gently start to release, bringing our bodies back to center. And then we're going to bring this left hand to our right knee and this right hand back behind us. Press our fingertips into the floor, make ourselves feel nice and tall, and start to twist, leading with our belly, then our shoulders, our chest, our neck, and then our head. Breathe here. Exhale, release. Gently bring your body back to center. Inhale both those arms up and hinge for at the hips. Forward fold. Bring that chin to your chest. Maybe we dip one shoulder. Maybe we dip the other shoulder. Maybe as we gently dip our shoulders, we can walk our fingers a little more forward to deepen that fold. Find your stillness. Breathe. Start to walk your hands back. Shoulders back and down. And then we're going to go into our tabletop posture. So we're going to come down off of this block. And then we're going to go to our hands and knees on our mats. But I'm going to bring these blocks up to the top of my mat so that they're there for me. Finding your tabletop. Your hips are going to be stacked right over your knees. And then your fingers are going to be spread nice and wide like starfish. And your wrists are going to be kind of right underneath your shoulders. However, if it's just in front of your shoulders, that's okay. You can also bring your hands to your blocks if that is beneficial to your crabby wrists. Say crabby. And then we're going to look at our hands here. Make sure our thumbs are kind of pointing towards each other, and all of our fingers are kind of pointing towards the short edge of our mat. Take a big breath here. And on your exhale, tuck your tailbone and let your chin come to your chest and arch your back like a Halloween cat pose. Inhale completely. Exhale, let that belly start to drop. Let that back start to arch. Let the shoulders go back and down, shining your heart forward, cow pose. Big breath in, press into your hands, tuck your tailbone, tuck your head. Find that cat pose one more time. Exhale, sink that belly down, shoulders back and down. Find that cow pose. Big breath in, and on your next exhale, tuck your tailbone, tuck your chin, just like you're going into that cat pose, but start to sink your hips back. Not all the way back, just a little bit here, and then start to arch your back as you start coming back up, and then sinking down into that cow pose. Big breath in, roll your back into that cat pose. Sink your hips back just a little bit. It might feel good to dip one shoulder and dip the other shoulder here. Exhale, shine that heart forward, find your cow pose. Come on back to your regular tabletop here. Bring your knees nice and wide. Bring your big toes together to touch. Sink those hips back. Start walking those hands forward. Find yourself in a child's pose. Now you can absolutely take a block and place it under your chest. That might be beneficial for you. So you can certainly try that and see if that works. And if it doesn't work, just take it out. It's all good. Let your chest start to lower to the mat. Let your forehead come down. Take a couple breaths here. And on your next breath, gently press yourself up to your tabletop once more. Tucking your toes underneath of you, pressing your fingertips into the mat. Big breath in, press into your hands, press into your feet, lift your hips. Find a downward dog here. Maybe we bend one knee, maybe we straighten one knee. Pressing those hips up and back. Start to walk your way up to the top of your mat. I like to walk and then stumble and then crawl. Whatever gets you there. Spread those feet nice and wide as your mat, folding forward, maybe a slight bend in your knees. You can always press that belly in to give a little more room for your body. Take up space. You're allowed to take up space. You deserve to take up space. Maybe some gentle swaying from side to side feels good here. Bring your hands to your shins or your knees. Shoulders are back and down so they're not bunched up around our ears. Big breath in, fold forward. Bend nice and heavy into those knees. Start to press into your feet. Roll that spine up one vertebrae at a time, stacking them on top of each other. Shoulders back, head straight, palms facing forward. Mountain pose, Tadasana. Take a couple breaths here. Inhaling completely. Exhaling completely. Inhale both those arms up towards the ceiling. Maybe it feels good to gently press your pelvis forward here. Big breath in, hinge at the hips, fold forward, bend into your knees nice and heavy. Start to press into your feet. Start to roll that spine up one vertebrae at a time. Stacking those vertebrae, then your shoulders, neck, and head, palms facing forward, mountain pose, Tadasana. Big breath here. Exhale completely. Inhale both those arms up. Big breath in. Bring your palms together to touch and down towards your heart center. And step that right foot forward in the center and that left foot back about halfway down your mat. Angle those toes off to the side. Whatever feels right here for you. What we want to do is be able to keep that foot on the mat, but it's okay if the heel slightly comes up. You're still going to receive the benefit you need. And then take your hands to your hips and point them towards the front of your mat. And maybe bend into that front knee. Big breath up, in, and extend those arms up towards the ceiling. Warrior one here. Turn those palms out. Start to draw those hands out, down your back, behind your back. Gather your hands together. Maybe you do the little Charlie's Angels fingers here. Take a big breath here. Start to hinge at the hip, folding forward, lowering that chest down towards the ground. Maybe that chest comes parallel to that knee. Maybe it doesn't, and that's okay. Take a couple breaths here. Exhale. Press into that front foot. Tighten those tummy muscles. Draw that body back up. And release those hands. Draw them up. Find that warrior one on this side. Big breath in. Exhale, completely step it up to the front of your mat. Shake it out just a little bit. We're just going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to bring that left foot to the center. That right foot's going to come about halfway down the mat and angled out the edge. Bending in that front knee. Bring those hands to those hips. Point them forward. And then extend those arms up towards the ceiling. Warrior one. Big breath in. Let it go. Turn those palms facing out. Draw those arms down and behind you. Gather them together behind your back. Maybe we have Charlie's Angel fingers here. Bend into that front knee. Start to hinge forward at the hips, lowering that chest down towards the ground. Bringing it down closer to our knee. Maybe that chest can come parallel to the knee. Maybe it can't, and that's okay. Press into that front foot. Tighten those tummy muscles. Draw that body back up. Exhale, completely release those hands. Bring them back on up. Finding that warrior one once again. Inhale and exhale completely. Step it forward. Shake it out. Excellent. Come to your mountain pose. I'm going to stand here just so you can see me. But come to your mountain pose at the top of your mat. Shoulders are going to be back. Palms are going to be facing forward. My feet are nice and hip width distance apart. A little further is okay if that feels better for you. Big breath in. Draw both of those arms up. Inhale here. Exhale, bring that right hand down. Find a little side bend here. Inhale, both those arms up. And then bring that left hand down. Find a little side bend here. Inhale, both those arms up. And fold forward. Maybe we take a nice swan dive, bringing our arms nice and wide. Finding a little bit of a slow rocking motion here. Hands on your shins. Find a flat back. Keep those shoulders from bunching up around your ears. Bring those shoulders back and down. Exhale, fold forward. Bend in those knees nice and heavy. Bring those hands down to the mat and step back, returning to that down dog. Maybe it feels good to sway your hips a little from side to side, pressing those hips up and back. And then slowly start to bring those knees down to the mat, returning to your tabletop. Sway those hips a little from side to side. Keeping those hips nice and high. Start to walk your hands out. Let that chest start to find its way down to the mat. This is puppy pose. It's an alternate to child's pose, but it's also a really great lower back release. Take a couple breaths here. Very slowly start to press yourself up, walking your hands back. And then we're going to come to a seat and grab one of those blocks. Just bring it next to you. Right next to you. And then you're going to come down onto your back. Take a few breaths here, laying on your back. Your knees should be bent. And sway those knees a little from side to side. Return to stillness here. Press into your feet, but just enough to move your hips a couple inches to the left. And then allow those knees to come down to the right. You do have a block right there, so you can always rest a block underneath your knees if you feel like you need that. Bring your arms out to a T or cactus arms. Press your pelvis towards that right edge of the mat. Point that left knee towards that lower right corner of the mat. And maybe turn your gaze over to the left. Take a couple breaths here. Tell your body it's okay to let go. Allow yourself to release. Big breath in, release. Tighten those tummy muscles. Draw those knees back up. Draw your gaze back up. Press into your feet. Lift your hips. Realign your spine. And then just move it just a couple inches over to the right. Let those knees come down to the left. You can always take that block and use it at your discretion. And then maybe point your pelvis towards that left corner or left side of the mat. Maybe point that right knee towards that left corner. Turn your gaze over to the right. Now, in this twist, you might find that your shoulder, like for instance, my right shoulder, might not quite make it to the ground, and that's okay. It gets pretty close, but it doesn't come all the way to the ground, and that's just how my body is, and your body may be different altogether. So don't focus on those particulars. Gravity's doing its thing, so just breathe into your body. Inhale completely and exhale completely. Tighten up on those tummy muscles and draw those knees back to center. Draw your gaze back to center. Press into your feet. Lift your hips. Realign your spine and slowly lower it down and sway your knees from side to side. So this next part here requires a block. If you choose or chose not to have a block or a book or something, you can stay here and you can just sway your knees from side to side, and that'll feel great. You can get real dramatic and let that hip lift up. But if you have a block handy, press into your feet, lift your hips, bring that block underneath of your hips, right underneath your sacrum. And it might require you to shift and adjust a little bit until you feel completely supported by your block. And find yourself in a supported bridge pose here. Take a few breaths. Allow your body to gently melt over that block. It may feel really nice for you to extend your legs here, and it may not. So if you extend your legs and you're like, nope, then just put them back. But this extended bridge is lovely. So we're opening up these muscles here in the front of our hips, these psoas muscles here. And so for those who sit a lot at their job or in their life, those muscles never get stretched, and they tend to they are connected to the sciatica nerve, and that causes pinching, and it can be the culprit for a lot of pain. So try this stretch, see how it makes you feel. Let your body just melt over that block. And then maybe start to bend. And if you straightened your knees, you can bend your knees, come back to your supported bridge. And maybe we draw our knees towards our chest. And it feels kind of neat having your hips elevated. And then maybe we extend our feet towards the ceiling, bringing our arms down by our sides. Maybe we flex our feet and press our heels towards the ceiling. Maybe we let our legs feel nice and heavy and leaning towards our head. Take a few breaths here. This version of legs up the wall is great for blood pressure. It's great for anxiety. You deserve to feel good. Sometimes when I feel overwhelmed, I'll come home and I'll put a block under my hips and just suspend my feet in the air. Maybe we roll out our ankles here. Bend into those knees. Take a couple more breaths here. Start to press into your feet and lift your hips. And if you put that block underneath of you, you can pull it out and just set it aside and gently roll your spine on down towards the mat. And maybe we extend our legs. Inhaling, drawing both of our arms up over our head. Give yourself one of them yummy Sunday morning stretch. Maybe we interlace our fingers and press our palms out. Maybe you gently bend one knee and straighten one knee. And release your hands down. Maybe they're at your side. Maybe they're out to a T. Splay your feet out to the side. Take a few breaths here. Start to return to your body. Maybe we wiggle our fingers. Maybe we wiggle our toes. Maybe we lick our lips and swallow, flare our nostrils. Unclench your jaw. Bend into your knees. And then allow your body to gently roll to one side, finding a fetal pose. Take a couple breaths here. This is the posture of renewal. This is the posture of rebirth. Big breath in. Exhale completely. Start to press yourself up. Nice and slow. Nice and easy. Return to your easy seats. Take a couple breaths here. Let the world come back around to you. Draw your hands together at your heart center. Press your thumbs right up against your heart. And as we bring honor to the beautiful culture that gave us yoga, the light in me sees and honors the light in you. Thank you for sharing your practice with me tonight. Namaste. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. I hope you really enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below if there are any concerns in your body that you would like to see some yoga practices for. There's something for everybody here. So I hope you enjoyed this lower back release, and I hope to see you next time. If you're not already, if you would subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell, it will let you know every time I post a video. And as always, take care of yourself. Have a great day. Bye.